Hi, I'm Alex Otten, student of Peter Porciello. Peter, Joan Wearsba, and Bonnie Broughton collaborated with LMM members and friends of Carol to put this program together as a tribute to Carol in memory and appreciation of her. Throughout her life, Carol was talented, kind, generous, diplomatic, very humorous, kept a childlike joy, and had an uncommonly good common sense most of the time. She was personally humble, very private, and careful to not boast. She actively tried to avoid causing envy, and so some of her good works were done anonymously, both inside and outside of the club, to see that other people were rewarded and appreciated for their good work. She was very eclectic in her musical tastes, and she had an inclusive view of people in churches. She found good believers everywhere she went.
Hi, my name is Joan Wearsba. I was a friend and colleague of Carol Broughton. She was an active member of Lansing Matinee Musicale for 63 years. She also was a church organist, and she liked Bach. So in her memory, I'm going to play Jesu Joy of Man's Desiring by Johann Sebastian Bach.
Carol started to play piano at age 6. Over time, she learned harp, timpani, and organ. She played harp publicly already in junior high school and continued with piano and organ at MSU and the University of Michigan. She was told in junior high school that she had a very high IQ and later became valedictorian of her high school class. Other children heard, "Why can't we be like Carol?" And so she suffered from their envy at school because of her talent and good grades. But this led her to be more aware of others, private and humble. She was offered scholarships to 5 different universities, but chose MSU to be near home. Unlike many music students, she loved music theory courses, perfect pitch helped on tests, and took as many as possible, also to increase her grade average. She had both good and bad luck with her university music teachers. At MSU, she changed her major after her piano teacher, who will be unnamed, told her that she had no talent, and further exclaimed in frustration, "None of my students have talent." But this opened the door to taking organ courses. At the U of M, she got a place with the head of organ at that time, Robert Naren, who told her, "Here, talent is cheap, and you have to have it to become a performer, but you'll have to give up everything for it." Carol had a special talent for sight reading and accompanying. This came in handy as she was asked to play a great variety of musical styles by special request for decades of weddings and funerals. She played for many, many funerals at Estes Ledley and other funeral homes, and many, many weddings, especially at the MSU Alumni Chapel, partly because she was specially requested, and partly because her name was second on the alphabetic list after Corliss Arnold, the organ teacher at MSU, who didn't prefer to play them. Many opportunities in music and in life are not just because of talent, but also because of fate or luck or the alphabet. Over the years, she played either full-time, as an interim, or as a substitute organist for many denominations in the greater Lansing area, and she cherished the good people she met in all of them. She had long positions at local Presbyterian, Baptist, and Methodist churches, but was an interim or regular substitute at various congregational, Methodist, Baptist, Christian Science, and Seventh-day Adventist churches, also occasionally substituting at Catholic, Episcopal, and Lutheran churches. Carol played for the LMM chorus and occasional programs, although less so in later years. But her contribution was not just with musical performance. As a longtime member of the Finance Committee, she exercised a talent with math and finance, and her good sense helped to preserve and increase the club's scholarship funds. She also had a knack for gardening and floral design, and she delighted in making flower arrangements for club events, as well as the Gesamtkunstwerk of decorating with coordinating tablecloths and napkins, etc., some of which she had family and friends import from Europe, especially for the tables. She also liked to show her gratitude to the people who had helped her at critical points as a student by sometimes taking time to encourage and support young musicians individually, because she knew how much this can mean to their growth as future professionals. Carol often enjoyed traveling around the world with various relatives to hear music, especially organs. And she usually carried some sheet music along, just in case there was a keyboard that she would be allowed to play. For example, indulging a little Bach on the delightfully, only partly renovated 1766 organ in Dornheim, Germany, where Johann Sebastian Bach was married in 1707, or plunking out When the Roll is Called Up Yonder, I'll Be There, on an old-timey reed out-of-tune piano in the historic Methodist Church in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Carol adored operas, and as a teenager she dreamed of playing the harp in the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra. Among her most frequent favorites were Carmen by Bizet, Turandot, and La Fanciulla del West by Puccini. She traveled to New York, London, Santa Fe, etc., just to hear them live, sometimes for more than one performance of the same opera. Some of you probably saw her at local movie theaters for the Met Opera live in HD and/or at the Encores. But she didn't really have a single favorite opera or aria. She'd instead rotate favorites. Now, Song to the Moon from Rusalka, later the duet from the Pearl Fishers, or something else. What was most important to her was if the musicians were tops. So she would go to most all of the Met live in HD performances and say that they were so good that she even liked the ones she didn't like. Even her television preferences were determined by music. If she was drawn to the theme songs of a show, for example Rawhide and I'm a Michigan Man, she also liked I Want to Go Back to Michigan, Down on the Farm by Irving Berlin, because she loved Michigan and also because her parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents had lived and worked on farms here.
I was born in Michigan, and I wish and wish again that I was back in the town where I was born. There's a farm in Michigan, and I'd like to fish again in the river that flows beside the fields of waiting corn. A lonesome soul am I. Here's the reason why. I want to go back. I want to go back. I want to go back to the farm, far away from home, with a milk pail on my arm. I miss the rooster, the one that used to wake me up at 4 a.m. I think your great big city's very pretty,
disapproving. Keep them doggies moving, roared. Don't try to understand them, just rope up, throw and brand them. Soon we'll be living high and wide. My heart's kept.
You think I'm an ignorant savage, and you've been so many places, I guess it must be so. But still I cannot see if the savage one is me. How can there be so much that you don't know? You don't know. You think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew, you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or ask the grinning bobcat why he grinned? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, as dreamers do.
Lovely.
You don't want to go for a ride, do you? We could get out of the palace, see the world.
Is it safe?
Sure, do you trust me?
What?
Do you trust me?
Yes.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming.
A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world with you.
Now I'm in a whole new world with you.
Unbelievable sight, indescribable
close your eyes. Hold your breath, it gets better.
I'm like a shooting star. I've come so far. I can't go back to where I used to be. Every turn a surprise. Every moment better.
I'll chase them anywhere. There's time to spare. Let me share this whole new world with you.
Carol didn't actually want to fuss much about fashion, except to enjoy the wearable souvenirs from her travels, from t-shirts to turquoise, or to respect other people wherever she was heading, including going to physical therapy, where it amused and delighted the therapists that she would dress up to see them and do her exercises.
I'm just breezing along with the breeze, trailing the rails and rolling the seas. Just like the birdies that sing in the trees, pleasing to live, and I'm living to please. Sky is the only roof I have over my head, and when I'm weary, Mother Nature makes my bed. I'm just going along as I please, breezing along with the breeze. Whenever there's music, the devil kicks. He don't allow music by the river Styx. You are wicked and you're depraved and you've all misbehaved. So if you want to be saved, sing, you sinners. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I've got that feeling in me. Yes, indeed. You will shout when it hits you. Yes, indeed. Yes, you shout when it hits you. Yes, indeed. When the Spirit moves you, you'll shout hallelujah. When it hits you, you holler, yes indeed. It comes out if it's in you, yes indeed. Makes you shout, jacket sends you, yes indeed. When the jive starts jumping, you'll shout, let me in there. When it hits you, you holler, yes indeed.
Yes, indeed. When the Spirit moves you, you'll shout hallelujah. When it hits you, you'll holler, yes, indeed. It comes out if it's in you, yes, indeed. Makes you shout, jacket sends you, yes, indeed. When the joint starts jumping, you'll shout, let me in there. When it hits you, you'll holler, yes, it hits you, you'll holler. When it hits you, you will holler, yes, indeed.
Those who knew Carol well are aware of what a legendary sweet tooth she had, especially for cookies. One that could rival any 5-year-old. Yearly trips to Disney World to hunt for more sweets. Carol joked that she wanted to be chair of the tea committees so that she could get a share of any leftover cookies. But first, she wanted to help with the club's work, and also because it gave her an extra time to spend with people whom she cherished so much. In the last years of her life, these friendships formed her most important and nourishing social circle. But alas, she was also mortal, and therefore she was sent on her last journey with a cookie and wearing her favorite Disney t-shirt. I'm just here for the holiday snacks. And later, she arrived with even more cookies and winged music notes in the family plot, ironically, whose land was once her mother's family farm. And so her life came full circle.
Hi, I'm Pete Porciello. I was a good friend of Carol's in the 1990s and the first 10 or 12 years of the 21st century. Carol and I spent a lot of time together practicing and performing, and we played a lot of hooky from our practice sessions and got in a lot of mischief. She made me take flower arranging classes. We used to buy matching socks to play on Sundays. We went to Van Atta's when we should have been practicing. Those kind of things. English Inn. And we had quite a time discussing her travels around the world. Carol would bring home music every time she traveled for us to play, either at my church or at her church, or sometimes both. And it was really quite a pampered feeling. And we always had sweets and cookies, and I didn't realize that she was such a cookie monster until later on, when she really just went after the sweets before the food. My best memories of her are in the song that you're about to hear called Memories and Mischief. And it includes clippets and snippets and photos from the things that she used to tell me about and some of the things that we did together. So I hope you enjoy it. I totally enjoyed creating this piece for her, and I hope you just sort of find your way into her space just for a moment.
Thank